to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Normani's in the building. Yeah. Normani has made it to the
forget
program.
that part. Couldn't forget that part.
So before this conversation started, we were sharing with Normani how I interfere with Shawnee Culture's life.
It started off with me really complimenting your skin.
Yeah. By the way,
That's
thank you.
how it started.
Yeah.
Normani,
I didn't want to point that
by
out.
the way, Normani, thank you, because that is how it's important for the audience to know.
Yeah, you gotta
Normani
give them
walks
the
in,
full
says
story.
hello to all of us. By the way, for everyone listening, she looks amazing, beautiful young woman.
That's right.
She comes in, says hello. She sees Shawnee and says to Shawnee, what was the exact quote, Shawnee?
I said, your skin is popping.
And I said, thank you very much.
And Ebro right away.
I said,
jumps in and goes,
I'm
hey,
trying to holler at my sis, yo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She got work to do and she can't be distracted.
And I didn't even try to holler. I said, thank you.
He did. He was very respectful.
See?
Do you hear, audience? Do you hear what's happening?
Very
the C
respectful.
blocking is so
Oh,
effortless.
no.
with him.
I'm Matumbo.
Yo, it's crazy.
He's like, I'm owning it.
It's not a problem. And by the way, it's happened before where I
Yeah.
had to say, Shawnee, this ain't gonna go.
In real life. And I was just living my life, regular, doing
Just
nothing.
live your
I was
life.
just, you know what I'm saying?
No,
Here he
Shawnee's
go.
Shawnee's a great guy.
He's a great
The zodiac
guy.
signs, he's gonna remember
That's
your
right.
birthday.
When's your
What's your
birthday?
zodiac?
I'm
Here we
Leo.
go.
Okay, I'm a Gemini.
We
May
go. We
31st.
blend.
Yep.
What's that?
I'm a Gemini. May 31st.
May 31st.
Oh,
May,
coming up.
yeah, I like that.
Yep.
Man, you know your mom?
See,
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. You know your
That felt
mom?
too intimate. That felt too intimate.
Because
Yo,
if she
by
did,
the
we was
way,
about to go there, right?
You just got a full Shawnee Culture bar. When he hits you with your moon,
That's it.
That was
Well, you know, she's Gemini. She's
I was
air on
tripping.
fire. We grow together.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's too intimate.
Right, you're an
It's
air
too
sign,
intimate.
right?
I like that.
It's already,
Yeah, I'm fire
nah,
sign.
Nah,
You help
we
me
go to-
grow.
Yo, nah.
Okay.
Yo, fam, she didn't put out the album yet. We got stuff to do.
He said after that.
Right.
After
Maybe
a couple
after
of
that,
the
we have a
Grammys, and you know what I'm saying, we'll
Right.
circle back around to this.
I
But it
remember.
sounds,
I'ma
it
be
sounds like Normani is very about relationships and all the trials and tribulations that go with it. Your new single, Fair.
Yes.
Oh, well done.
I love that was
That's
good.
my girl.
Lord,
Okay.
stop.
Lord,
LS.
About
That
letting
was
go,
good. Yes.
breakups. Tell us about it.
This was an opportunity for me to really be vulnerable, especially because I feel like the world still has yet to really get to know me as a person. And I wanted to just humanize myself. And this was the closest thing that was real to me. Because I went through a breakup after 2 years. And just that sense of betrayal and feeling let down. And I just really, really felt like it was important to show my fans that I too go through the same thing. And that just because I'm like this celebrity and like I said, people know that I can get on stage and like do my shit, you know, but there's a real person in there too. And I just wanted them to meet me where I was broken and just allow myself the freedom and opportunity to not look, you know, like perfect. I feel like as a Black woman in the industry, my journey is significantly different than a lot of other artists. Right. And I've kind of forced myself into this idea of being perfect and having it together and always being, you know, turned on, which you can see through my social media. I share what I'm comfortable sharing, but that's not necessarily like by choice. I think that that's because I so badly just like want to get it right, and the pressures of like everybody else on top of the expectation that I already have of myself, you know?
I think what you're articulating too is something that we see a lot of Black women struggle with, because you feel the pressure of not only wanting to succeed for yourself, but wanting to succeed for your family.
Yes.
And wanting to succeed for people who share your struggles, who don't have the opportunities that you have. And you're like, yo, nah.
This is a real opportunity.
This is it. We doing it, y'all, and I'm gonna get it right.
Right.
And I think that is it's an unfortunate pressure that falls on a lot of Black women to feel like you're representing for literally every Black woman, which
out
is
there,
way too much pressure, I think.
Exactly.
And can feel unfair.
And also the pressure is coming in to my solo endeavors. Like, I know you've seen it at the top, like 3 years ago, even like the comparisons, which is a blessing, you know, like artists that I've looked up to literally my whole life and that I love so much and have inspired and paved the way for me to be in the position that I'm in. But also with that pressure, it's like, okay, well, where's there room for me to be me and for me to like make mistakes?
That's a lot.
Let's talk about this path to getting here. When you first
Are you stalking me?
I just was, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she brought up her social media, so I wanted to see, like, she said what she's comfortable sharing, so I wanted to see what you
Oh,
were.
no, she gets comfortable.
Well, yeah.
Makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, gosh.
I'll be like, yo, who's reviewing this page?
You got to be talking about the painting video.
There's some interesting things on here.
There's
But
some interesting.
but I see that, yeah, she posts sexy pics, but that's not what I mean. Like, in terms
Yeah.
of really personal,
Yeah.
no, I can see how you have a somewhat, like, cultivated, professional page. You're not sitting there, doing whatever. But how did this all, when you tried out for the X Factor in 2012,
2012, yeah.
what had you been doing leading up to that?
Oh, I've been prepping for this moment for my whole life. Like,
Because that's already 10 years ago.
No, that's already 10 years ago, but it started, honestly, at the age of 4
Wow.
for me.
Doing what?
Doing gymnastics, doing acting lessons, singing lessons, going out to LA for pilot season with my mom. Like, my dad held the house down.
Your mom was a big supporter of you early.
My whole family, my mom, my dad, my grandmother. Even when we weren't able to afford it and I shouldn't have been doing all that stuff, they were willing to bet on me.
Wow.
Even though I was terrified. Every single time somebody would come to the house, my mom's like, she's that mom that's like, okay, sing this song, sing that Alicia Keys song. Terrified, but yeah, they were always just willing to bet on me.
And you'd be going from New Orleans to LA, or is this from Texas?
This is from Texas, because
Texas,
we're
okay.
originally from New Orleans,
And
and
then
then
you
the
moved.
hurricane happened.
Right. And
So
you
we
never went
moved.
back after Katrina?
No, we didn't.
Wow.
We didn't. And
That
that
must have
wasn't
been
that
traumatic.
wasn't planned. Like, I don't think anybody knew.
Yeah, nobody knew what to do.
Nobody knew what to do. We didn't know where we were going to
So
go.
all of a sudden you were just gone?
All of a sudden I was gone. My best friend, still to this day, my best friend, she was actually sleeping over at my house, and my uncle called because, we're from the South, like, we're used to waiting hurricanes out. We didn't know. Nobody could have predicted how devastating that would have been. So he called my grandma and he was like, Barbara, we got to get up. We got to go. We got to go. It's going to be bad. So I remember literally dropping her off because her mom was going to stay. And I hadn't seen her for probably like 5 to 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And everything's okay with her.
Everything is great with her.
Got it.
Yes.
So
yes.
you
We're still
leave-
best friends to this day, but we didn't know that would be the last time that we would have seen
And
each
how
other.
old were you?
I was 9.
So that's a tough time to all of a sudden just move to Texas, and now
It's-
you live somewhere else overnight?
And then you have to like learn kids. I went to about 4 different schools, and then I was like, Mom, I want to be homeschooled.
Really?
Yeah. It was hard to find my place, for sure.
And
But
your mom was open to it?
yeah, she was open to it, especially because of what I wanted to do. So she literally gave up her job. My dad held the house down financially so that she was able to. And like I said, went on auditions. She was with me for the X Factor.
Did you have anything big prior to X Factor? Were there any like TV shows that you thought at the time, like, oh, this is going to be it?
Honestly, I wanted to go back to high school initially because I always felt like I was missing out on something. I guess like
Of course.
the grass isn't always greener on the other side. But I wanted to audition for this performing and visual arts school in Houston, which is the school. It's called HSPVA. And if you get in, then that validates like your talent.
Right.
And that you're actually legit and that you're really good. And I didn't get in for dance, nor did I get in for musical theater.
Damn.
Yeah, but it was the same year that I auditioned for X Factor. So that was God. Because my mom was like, okay, if you go back to school, that's it. You're finishing school, you're going to college, like, it's a wrap.
So you try out for X Factor, and
Get eliminated.
how quickly?
We were pretty far in. We made the boot camp round, which is pretty much like the end of
Now, when you say we,
that. Me and the girls.
Fifth Harmony was
me.
already, you all went in together.
No, we didn't go in together.
Okay.
We auditioned as solo artists. We met each other during the boot camp round in Miami.
Wow. Okay. Got it.
Didn't even know each other existed. I remember connecting with Dinah first, and being blown away by Lauren's performance in Miami. And then we all got eliminated and brought back together.
Got it.
Yeah.
So at that point, you knew like, hey, this show didn't work out all the way, but we found
Yeah.
We found our thing.
Yeah.
And then who like formed the group? What did you do? Were people?
Simon's good at that.
Simon did
yeah,
himself. Simon did
he knows what he's doing. Between him and LA, they knew what they were doing. Yeah.
That's a good team to get you started.
That's what I'm saying. It's they knew what
you
they were
must have
doing
learned
for sure.
a lot too. That's
gosh.
diving right in. I mean,
especially being so young. I mean, obviously there's so much good, but also there's a lot of sacrifice, you know, that I don't think we were prepared for. And I think that we did a damn good job considering the unrealistic circumstances and expectations that were put on us. I think we really did the best that we could.
And when you say unrealistic, I'm sure there's fans, there's people who've been, I mean, shout out to your fans. They show me love. So, listen, I get into a lot of different fan bases out here.
Yes.
About different things. And your fans are definitely positive and ready to ride for you.
Yes.
And they've rode with you from the Fifth Harmony to going solo to this. When you say unrealistic expectations.
I mean, simply the fact that we didn't grow up with each other. We can't compare ourselves to a Destiny's Child because the dynamic wasn't initially there. Like, we didn't have that foundation. So we had to create a foundation along the way.
yeah.
And 5 different personalities, as you can imagine. Like,
all of whom are trying so hard to make it to be stars that y'all are trying out at X Factor. Right, have been grinding.
And all of whom didn't expect to be put into a girl group.
Right, you guys were all there solo.
Exactly,
right.
on national television.
Correct.
So you're literally seeing us go through the process as we're trying to figure it out ourselves.
Well, and I guess in some regard, accepting circumstances, right? Like, you had to accept, like, if out of this X Factor moment, if we're going to make the most of this moment, we're going to accept the terms of this group.
Yeah.
Correct.
That is being fabricated and put together by individuals, and we're going to ride this out.
And do the best that we possibly can.
Even if we don't want it.
Yeah, because obviously, I assume you always wanted to be a solo star. I mean, otherwise you would have had a group prior, no?
Exactly. I feel like we all auditioned as solo artists. That was for a reason, you know? But I think that, like I said, the way that the group set us all up to be able to pursue our individual endeavors, like, it's such a blessing. It came with a lot, but it's the ultimate blessing.
But it also makes you, it makes you honor, respect, cherish everything that you have today.
Exactly, because we fought for it.
Right. And I think in some regard, maybe it makes you even patient, right? Because there's obviously, from your fans, I see it all the time, where's your album? What we doing? How come this?
Yeah.
I mean, even me, I'm like, yo, we got momentum to put out. What we doing? And, I hit your management or the label, and they're like, we got it. We got it. It's cool. It's cool. Are you feeling patient right now? Are you feeling impatient? What are you feeling right now? Because you're coming off a hit record with Cardi B.
Yeah.
Big tune.
Big tune.
Thank you.
You had a hit record with Khalid. The Sam Smith joint went pretty far. Like, you've had some very significant chart moments. Now you have a solo single. How are you feeling right now?
I feel really proud of myself, and I think that with the pressures of where's the album, everybody could have thought that during Motivation would have been the best time to put out my project. But I wasn't prepared. And that was me being honest with myself. That was ballsy. That was me being, like, making an adult decision. Like, no, I know what it's like to put out music that I don't believe in. And I know what it feels like to be so disconnected from a record. And I'm speaking about the records that we made in the group, because nobody ever asked us what we wanted to say. Nobody ever asked us sonically what we wanted our sound to sound like. We were given records and expected to deliver. And that's what we did. So this was the first time that I had the opportunity to say, let me go through some real experiences so I have some real shit to talk about.
It's Ebro, Laura Rosenberg. We're sitting with Normani today. I noticed earlier when we were talking about the pressures that you feel, like some real pain. Like, I want to let you know it's okay to be scared, man. It's cool. It is super cool to be scared. I think it ingratiates yourself to your fan base that much more. It makes you human. I think the earlier you can show humanity in this game, the more you're giving yourself space later on to be human.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, being perfect all the time, that's just not real.
It's draining.
It's just not, and it's not real.
I think with all the critique that you say you get, obviously you're in the spotlight, so your life is out there for people to judge, right? But one person that always shows you so much love and her face changes even when she's speaking about you is Cardi B.
Genuine. Actually genuine. And aside from what you see publicly, she actually hits me up just to check on me. Just to make sure that I'm mentally where I need to be. Like, she really is my biggest cheerleader.
Tell me, how did you guys end up linking up? How was that relationship formed?
It was actually, I feel like the first time we met was at a jingle ball. I was still in the group at the time. And I remember being on Twitter, and for some reason I was trending. I didn't understand what was going on. But she apparently was like, y'all know I don't have feet like Normani. Basically hyping me up and being like, I can't dance like that girl. But also motivation. She was like a really, really big supporter. And then it was a no-brainer, like, for her. She didn't even think twice when it came to jumping on Wild Side. And there was some other like logistics behind the scenes that people were kind of like not wanting it to happen. But she fought to make
label
it
politics
happen.
And all that.
Label politics, yeah. But no, she rides for me and I ride for her, and that's my sister. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
You got a dope young crew too in the entertainment. I mean, you and Khalid are close. You and Doja are close. You and Cardi B. How does that feel, right? Coming from someone who articulated earlier that, you know, high school and school was hard to like find your place and find friends, and now here you are after dealing with, you know, accepting the terms of being in a girl group that wasn't ideal. You know, trying to figure out your solo career. How does it feel now to have so much camaraderie and support?
It feels amazing. Like, I remember when I dropped the Wild Side video, Nas on Twitter, he was like the first person that said something. He was like, best video of all time. Like, oh my God, I love this video. Like, it just feels so good because I don't always see it in the moment, which sucks. I don't know why I'm like that. Like, that whole motivation era I totally missed because I was nitpicking. I'm like, I hate this about the video. I hate this. Like, I'm very, very critical. And I promised myself I wouldn't do that. I would enjoy the moment and I would just embrace it for whatever it turns out to be. So the fact that he like hyped me up and like just made me feel really good in the moment about it, it made me feel special, you know? It's like, okay, job well done. It's okay to also pat yourself on the back. It feels good to have other people do it, but it's like, good job, girl.
I think
like,
the other piece that people don't really know about you is you're competitive, right? Because you're
with myself. I'm a natural born competitor.
Well, and the dancing thing, I don't know. Do people understand the backstory? I mean, you the dance thing is like a thing for you. Like
and gymnastics too. Since I was 4, the only objective that our coaches teach us is to be the best,
right?
And to win and bring home first place. Right. So that mentality has always stuck with me on top of the pressures that I feel from everything else happening, you know?
And then music and art is not the same as gymnastics in that it's subjective.
Right.
You can't just come in first place. You could have a great song and some people will still not like
that
song.
That's something that I'm accepting now. I'm like, there's somebody out there for everybody. And at the end of the day, as much as I make music for everybody, I make music for myself too.
Right. And so that's all you
and
really
I had to remind myself that.
Right. That if you like a record, that's fantastic. Some people may not like it. That's okay. Do you find yourself...
That's what happened with Fair, honestly. Like, I know that everybody expects me to come out with this like up-tempo, high energy because people want to see me do what I do.
Dance. The whole thing.
But that's not all I can do.
Right.
So it'd be me doing a disservice to myself if I hadn't put out a record like Fair to show my versatility and something that actually means something to me and the growth that I've had as an actual artist without the bells and whistles.
Right. Now, Ebro, a lot of the things that she's saying right now make me think that she is in fact a guru.
I think so.
TheGuruLaura@gmail.com, where the gurus unite to uplift you in your darkest time. We help you. We heal you. We send love. Shawnee Culture, burn the sage.
Cleansing the energy.
Ah, the energy is getting cleansed.
Rosenberg, lead us some breathing
Yo,
exercises.
man, I don't like how you breathing around Normani, my G. You gotta chill, man. There's a lot of breathing, Shawnee.
He's
I feel like
cleansing
it's
the
extra
energy.
breathing going on,
We're in a good zen.
All right, we're in a good zen. Thank you, Normani.
Yes.
All right, Rosenberg, tell us who's in need of our help.
Out through the mouth.
TheGuruLaura@gmail.com. That's where you email us, TheGuruLaura@gmail.com. Today, our special guest, Normani, joins the Gurus. And here's our email. Dear Gurus,
Thank you.
loyal listener, major issue.
Okay.
31-year-old male, dating my current girlfriend for 6 months now.
Okay.
Everything was going good until this past weekend.
Damn. It's always a 6-month period.
She isn't from my town, so her family are never around. I've seen random photos of them, but never really paid too much attention. She mentioned having an older sister, but they're not close. So we go to this family dinner a few weeks ago. Her sister's there, and you guessed it, we used to smash just before the pandemic.
And he never knew.
No!
She smashed the homie.
Ah!
The sister.
The sister, though?
Listen, here we go. I met her on a boys' weekend away, and we had a thing for 2 or 3 months.
That's a long time.
We spoke at the dinner, and she agreed not to tell her sister because they aren't that close anyway. I'm not sure about telling her and whether or not it's the right thing to do. I imagine she'll find out eventually anyway. I want to tell my girlfriend about this, but the problem is she's talked about how her sister can come across as jealous of her success, of her relationships. So this could just make things worse. Do I tell her or not?
You tell her.
fam.
You tell her.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Normani.
You tell her. Your loyalty is to your girlfriend. I think that she'll be able to understand. I mean, she'll be hurt. I would be hurt personally, but
you didn't do anything wrong.
He didn't technically do anything wrong. It would make me feel a little.
See, I don't like that you had to use the word technically. Why do women have to? No, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't know.
Because it's still.
I mean,
No,
because
it's
it's
wrong.
still there.
No, it's
Gross.
wrong. He didn't do anything wrong, but it's
Right.
wrong. Right? Like the
It's just messed
overarching-
up.
Right.
Exactly.
The whole-
sucks.
It
Yes.
sucks for
Everyone.
everybody.
For everybody. This isn't good.
It's not a good situation to be in.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would respect my man more, and I would feel thought about if he came to me and told me, even if it was hard.
And isn't there a
Facts.
thing that women really like? They really like this, where you give them the space and opportunity to make their choice about how they feel about the situation. Meaning,
Correct.
this happened. I understand if you want to end our relationship. I get it, but I have to let you know that this happened before I even knew you. And then whatever she decides to do after that.
Well, here's the most
I have
important
a question
piece.
though. Did
Go
the
ahead.
sister not want him to tell?
It sounded like the sister
They
didn't
had a
want it.
conversation,
I don't know,
Normani.
but
Remember they
She's going to use it
agreed.
against him.
So
You
here's
already know.
the ultimate key. And Normani and Laura, you guys can weigh in.
Okay.
I believe firmly, in my experience, there is nothing worse for a woman than her man having a secret with another woman
Absolutely.
she
Because
knows.
I'm the only one that don't know, and y'all got
You
something
playing
on
with
there.
that.
See?
Right.
I feel played.
So he
Right.
has to tell her.
Yeah, he
Because,
has to.
Like
And-
right
and-
away.
and now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now. You can't wait 6 months because that means
You
she'll
already
be,
took too long writing us an
Yeah.
email,
Right.
fam.
I
Gone
wanted
too
You
far.
fucking up out here.
Yeah.
you gotta get after it right
Right
away.
now.
100%.
I recently had a situation where I went out with Natalie, my girlfriend. It was one of our first times because of the pandemic. We hadn't gone out that much. And we ended up in a situation where we were hanging out with someone who I had had something small with before. And even that, we got in the car and I was like, hey, I just want you to know X, Y, and Z happened a long time ago. Not a big deal. She's cool.
But you had to tell her after the fact.
It was too late. everyone was just in the same space.
Got it.
Yeah,
But
you
I
had
was
to
like,
You
I
didn't
don't
know showing up that person was going to be
know.
there.
And I was just like, I just need you to know that happened so you don't feel like you're. And she was like,
It'll always be the
right.
at first.
But it passed. Because we dealt with it head on.
Right.
And that just adds trust down the line for when other things happen.
Yeah.
And then
honesty.
it doesn't allow room for it to just build up.
Yep.
You know?
Right.
Like let's call it for what it
Because you'll
is
start
right
telling
now.
stories right away. If for example you decide not to tell her and you wait 3 weeks and then you tell her, she's gonna then be going.
Then I'm gonna be like, so you knew that whole time and you
Not
decided
only
not to
she's
tell
that,
gonna
but
be
then
me.
her and her
reliving it.
sister got beef. And her
Yeah.
sister
She
sister
was
don't
like, I
care
talked
about
to her.
you.
She's like,
Well, honestly, the sister is I don't know about
The
that.
sister might be
either
trifling.
way, there's beef because you told him not to tell me.
Right.
And by the way, sir, do not get involved in that.
Yeah, you don't have to mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, I don't even wait. Him and the sister talked about not saying.
Yes.
had an
That's
No,
a
no, 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 no.
problem.
Ah, wait. We got to deal with that because what does he do with that? Because if he doesn't say that I spoke to your sister,
and then she says,
and then the sisters confront one another, and she's like, well, I spoke to your man, and he wasn't even...
he got to tell her.
He has to tell her everything. We all agree, gurus and non-gurus.
Yeah.
Okay?
He got to tell her.
We all agree. You have to come clean about everything, right?
Everything, every part of it.
Every single thing.
Because you know how people be like, oh, well, I wasn't lying, but you didn't tell me the whole truth either.
Right. Omitting the truth is also a form of lying. Exactly. So we all agree, come clean.
Come clean.
Come clean.
if you want to be with the girl.
Right.
If you just want to be a scumbag, I mean, you could just go ahead and smash everybody if you want.
All right, Roseberg.
But I wouldn't recommend that.
I mean, I'm glad you went down that path because things may...
It may go... Because
it may go great. Where the sister's like, yo, I don't trip. You know, we be doing that sometimes. And you know what I'm saying? It's all good.
He likes this girl. He really likes this girl.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
He put it in an email. He likes her.
So come clean. So say the gurus and the honorary guru, Normani.
Yes.
Normani, thank you so much for joining the program.
Thank you guys for having me.
By the way, can you be a regular on our show? Because
I would love to.
You know what I would love, Ebro?
Huh.
I would love if whenever she shows up, we all go, Norm!
Oh, from Cheers.
Yeah!
You want
Norm! You're the only Norm I know.
Oh, man.
Play the Cheers theme song. This is what we should play every time.
I need to hear. I need to hear.
Comes in the room.
Norm! Do people call you Norm?
Somebody calls me Normie. I'm trying to figure out who it is, and I don't like it.
You don't like it?
What about just Norm?
Norm is cool.
But you don't love it?
I don't love it. I love.
Hold on, wait till you hear the song.
Mani.
No, what's the nickname, family nickname? That we can't. It's Normani. There's
no,
no
My
Mani.
nickname is Mani.
They call you
Everybody
Mani.
already calls me Mani, which I felt the type of way in the beginning because I'm like, oh, my grandma calls me that, but
Calls you Mani.
yeah,
See, here's
But
the
the
thing.
people love you, so it's love.
exactly. So I get it.
I just have to admit, when I'm friends with a woman who has a name where the nickname can be a boyish nickname, I find it very cute. I have a friend named Charlie. I call her Chuck. Like, I just find it, I don't know why, I find it amusing. So I like Normani. Like, you're such a feminine, pretty lady.
Then you can be a Norm.
Just be Norm. It's so ironic for her to be Norm.
What's
Shawnee,
up,
play her
Norm?
song.
What's up, Norm?
No!
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a
It's
lot.
the joint, though.
Really is.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
Let's go, Normani. Let's go.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Norm, Norm, Norm.
And they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
Doesn't that feel good?
Y'all have to play this every time I come.
Every time
Yeah,
you walk
this
in.
is my theme song now.
You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Maggie needs to see a picture of Norm just to see how far away you are from the actual Norm.
Thank you, Normani.
Oh my goodness!
you,
Thank you
Normani.
guys.
Look, nothing
I love
like
that. Wait, I need to see the Norm.
You've
You've never seen Norm?
No.
You might be insulted.
Isn't that George Wendt?
Yeah. You'll recognize him from movies.
Oh my
Oh, he's a
gosh.
great guy. Seems like seemingly great guy.
He
I never
seems
met the
like
man.
a great
Oh,
guy.
he's a guy.
He's definitely a guy.
Gotcha.
He's definitely.
Have you ever seen an episode of Cheers?
Oh, he's cute. He looks nice.
He always
I like him.
Everybody loves Norm.
Everybody loves
He
Norm.
looks sweet. He looks sweet.
Normani, did we play the single?
Yeah.
Let's play it again.
Do it again.
Yeah, let's play it
And
again.
let's play Love Lies. Yo, fire tune.
That's my favorite.
I
It's
love
always
that
been
record.
one of my favorites.
Yo, that record is incredible.
has a
you and
special
Khalid
place.
linking up again?
We should. We should.
It hasn't
It hasn't happened,
hasn't
but
happened
it
yet.
definitely should.
And the album, what are we doing?
Summer.
We're getting a season.
But there's
Hey,
another
y'all
record.
Normani fans, we getting
A
a
season.
It's a big
That's the
deal.
next season.
But I'm
We're
dropping
in spring.
another record like within the next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any collaborations? Any?
Next one is just me too.
Okay. Now on the album, is there anything cooking? Because you know people expect you and Doja. People expect
It needs to happen between me and Doja and me and Nas. Like I feel like why wouldn't it?
Okay, I like where you're
How about
sending
both?
us.
You
I
get
like
them both
where
on
you're
one.
sending us.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to put into the ether is, and I know, Grammys just happened.
Yeah.
But one of the things that every award show needs from this point forward is a Normani performance. Because what you did, what was that?
VMAs?
Was that VMAs?
With the braids?
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
And I was under pressure. Everybody else got booked months in advance. I had a week.
And y'all, your performance?
I had a week. I haven't watched it back.
Really?
You should.
How come?
Because that shit was traumatic.
No, watch it, because I think
It was traumatic.
You know, a lot of performers who dance on stage, they put a lot of choreography together and a lot of bells and whistles and outfit changes, and there's 20 people coming from all different. The simplicity, the technicality, like how technical it was and simple it was, and that was the one with the different. It was just like a
It was just like a red screen, white screen.
That is what, obviously, your abilities.
And you know that wasn't the creative, right?
No, I have no idea.
Everything was just going wrong. I'm talking about everything that you could possibly imagine.
It looked
I was about to
flawless.
pull out literally the day of. I cried the whole day. I just was not, it wasn't happening. And I'm grateful that I had such an amazing support system and team around me to be like, no, you're enough. Get up on that stage and do what you do.
Do what you do.
Do what you do. And that was something that God really taught me. That was the lesson in that, because I'm like, okay, I wanted to come from the ceiling. I wanted to have all the theatrics, you know?
Yeah, nah.
But I had myself and my
No,
dancers.
but I think that's what makes it very different than what other people who, and I don't want to make this Normani versus anyone.
No,
none of
not
that.
at all.
But I think your abilities are unique, refined, and you execute them well. And it's important that you don't have to. It's kind of like food that you put too much seasoning. It's like, yo, you don't need all the coverage. You don't need all the crutches and all that. Like, let the people see that I do this. Like every award, like, because remember back in the day. You know, and I again, I don't want to compare you to nobody. I don't want to put that pressure on you. But some people showed up. It was like, yo, so and so's performing tonight.
Right.
You're one of those people that's like, yo, Normani's performing tonight.
Well,
We're about to get
and
one
some
of them
people need all the
things.
spice. Some people do need all the spice. Some people need the set. They need to hang off things. They need the lights, the pyro. And some people can just
bow,
move
bow,
and sing.
bow,
and
hitting it, like showing them like.
You should go back and watch it again.
Like, I'm with the shits.
Yes, you should go back and watch it.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's probably a thing where it was scary for you, and as a result, you don't want to look back on it because you're scared it wasn't good, and everyone saw it, and it was really good.
Okay.
You should go relive it again.
And there's an expression I
I'ma
want you
watch
to
it
practice. If y'all like it, I love it. Meaning, if it's received well,
Then let it be.
if y'all like it, I love it.
Yeah.
And if y'all don't like it, I don't care.
No, that's some real shit. Like, I do need to practice that and stop dwelling in things.
Yes.
Because that's the reason why I don't want to look back at it, because I'm scared that I'm still going to think the same thing that I thought then.
You're going to feel all right when you watch it. Trust me.
Okay,
You're going to feel good.
Normani, ladies and gentlemen. One time.
Norm!
Not Norm!